Hey, and welcome everybody to the Soundformer podcast almost morning. As you can tell already, my internet is not really that good today. This entire week has been rough. We've had a couple major snowstorms. Now it's a really bad windstorm. We have a power outage right now. So I am running on laptop battery, the remaining one, and using my cell phone right now that is charging in my car outside of the house here. It shows me that it is a low internet connection. So my first question to you guys is, can you hear me all right? If anybody would type that in the chat, because it would be a big bummer if this was such a poor connection that I couldn't communicate with you all. Can you hear me? I know there's a bit of a delay from my streaming software here to the YouTube channel where you guys are commenting, but can you guys hear me? If anybody would be willing to type in. It seems like the internet connection is going back and forth a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead a little bit until I see some comments here show up. You froze for a second, but you're good. Okay, good. If you are watching this once this live stream is over and it's recorded, you will still benefit from this, I believe. Today's topic is holistic land planning. Plan your life, not just your farm. And the value that you will hopefully get from this live stream is the following. You will learn and understand what holistic land planning is all about, why we do it, why it can help you with your homestead or your farm. We will also talk about the dangers of hiring a farm or land planner. A different way of putting that, because I myself offer land planning services, would be what you have to really watch out for and look out for when you hire a land planner for your homestead or your farm, because there's some things that are just really important so you get it right for yourself. We will cover what the essential steps and points for a successful land plan are, and with those steps you will be able to really get some good planning work done yourself. So we're gonna cover that. We obviously do not have time to go, into all the details in a live stream that's an hour, max hour and a half, but we are going to cover the major points so that you can go further with them. And then at the end, I have a super cool announcement for you guys. So if you are interested in holistic land planning. If you want to plan your homestead, your farm, so that it works together with your life and that it's financially doable, then stay tuned throughout this live stream. You will get a lot of value from it. But more than that, I have a really, really great offer for all of you guys at the end. One favor before we start diving into the content. Hello, everybody. Really glad you're here. Feel free to chat with each other during this live stream. Feel free to send some questions in towards the end of the live stream for me. I will have limited ability to monitor the live chat while I focus on the content. But towards the end of the video, or when I see something pop up, I will try to answer some of your questions there. Okay. So again, welcome. Really glad you're here. So let's dive into this topic: holistic land planning. Plan your life, not just your farm. And so you understand right away what holistic land planning is. It is more than just focusing on your land and, drawing up some things and doing something with your land. Holistic land planning is something that, like the term holistic says, it involves a lot of things. And that is really the best approach for your homestead, for your farm. Now, let me say this real quick up front. Whether or not you have small land or a larger farm, all this applies to you. And maybe you don't even have any land yet, but you're looking to buy land, and you might first buy it in a few years, or you want to buy land, but you're not sure what to buy, what to look out for. You will benefit from the content of this live stream. Okay. When I say holistic land planning, I'm talking about the official holistic land planning process from the holistic management as the Savory Institute teaches it. You might know that I am an associate educator and an accredited professional with the Savory Institute, and I teach holistic management. And one of the planning processes in the holistic management framework is a holistic land plan. Now, the Sound Farmer land planning service that I offer through my website goes beyond that. The Sound Farmer land planning service, we work with holistic land planning principles, but we go beyond that. We work with permaculture principles, we work with keyline method principles, and we try to combine that all. But the holistic land planning still has a major fundamental role in all of that. The holistic land planning process was originally created parallel to the holistic plant grazing with Alan Savory. And the reason for that was that, and this is in one sentence what you would say holistic land planning was or is in the holistic land planning, in the holistic management framework, you would say that it is the optimal layout of the farm's infrastructure for a grazing operation. But now, don't tune out if you're not so much focused on grazing animals. Like I said, if you have a small homestead or a larger farm, it doesn't matter, because a lot of these principles that we're going to talk about and that are part of holistic land planning are extremely important for small homesteaders or farmsteaders. They are important for a smaller farm. They're important for larger farms, because you need to think of all of these, okay? One of the most, fundamental understandings of a holistic land plan, or a land plan in general for that matter, that is absolutely profound, I'm going to give to you right now. So pay good attention. This is absolutely important. It's something that I found to be so profound when I first learned about this. For a very long time, I thought that I'm so limited in what I can do. I wish my homestead would and my farm would be so much further along. I looked at others and I was like, oh, if I could only have this. And I was thinking if I could only, I would need more land, or I would need better land, or I would need more money. I would need more time. There was always something I was looking at. I was thinking, man, my operation would first really work out and be so much more effective and all that when I have this all figured out, when I have this all planned out, when my homestead has reached, or my farm has reached, a certain level of planning and then implementing that plan. In reality, though, a land plan for your farm is not the starting point, it's your goal. That is the most profound thing that you can take from this entire live stream and podcast here tonight, is that your land plan is not your starting point. It is your goal. Don't make the mistake and think, I need to plan this perfectly laid out permaculture, keyline, holistic land farm before I can do any of this, before I can farm, before I can make any money, before I can be effective. Okay? That's not true. That would be absolutely impossible unless you have great resources, unless you have a lot of money, and you're able to just throw that into your operation and turn the land quickly, no matter the cost, into whatever it is you want. For the absolute majority of people, including me, that is absolutely not an option. So we create the optimal land plan for our farm, for our land, for our homestead, no matter the size. That is our goal. Okay? That is our goal. And so you understand, by understanding that we will have to think long into the future. If it's our goal and not our starting point, part of the holistic land planning is thinking into the future, where you want the farm to be, but then there are a lot of other things connected to it. Where will be the surroundings be in 50 or 100 years? What about my children? And so on. We're going to touch on that in a little bit. But the major, profound insight to a land plan for your farm, for your homestead, is that it is not your starting point, it is your goal. Starting point is how you find your land when you get there. You have to work with the kind of fencing there is or isn't. You have to work with whatever pastures you find. If there are no buffer zones, if there are no hedgerows, then that's what you will have to start working with. Nobody can create a profitable enterprise if they have to first invest, thousands or tens of thousands or millions into establishing all of that, and then wait several years before shrubs and trees have grown, before fences are built and all that, before you can do anything. Okay, so get that out of your head and understand you can. In fact, you have to start with your land where it is. Now, the holistic land plan is your goal, and the holistic land plan works hand in hand with holistic financial planning and holistic planned grazing. So here's how it works, and this is absolutely profound, guys. So please pay attention. You create your holistic land plan as the goal, and that is done once. The holistic land plan is a one-time, intense, comprehensive research and planning project for your land and your farm. And a lot of research, a lot of planning, a lot of time should go into that. A lot of thorough work. And a grazing plan, and I would extend this if you don't have, grazing animals. I would, let's say a plan of the annual operation, an operational farming plan. Okay, a holistic operational farming plan is done annually, and a holistic financial plan is done annually. Now, the holistic financial plan helps you to plan and budget for the annual amount of money that you will be able to spend on your holistic land plan, on getting to the goal that year. Okay, so with your land plan, holistic land plan, you plan your goal. With your holistic financial plan, you budget and set apart a sum of money to take you one step closer that year. Your holistic grazing plan or your holistic operation plan, farm operation plan, helps you to plan for that year how to make a profit with what you have. You see how profound this is? Those three planning procedures together ensure that you have a goal of how you want your farm, your land, and your life to be. I'm going to touch on that in a little bit. And the other two planning procedures, the financial planning and the planned grazing or operational planning, ensure that you both will still be profitable this year and that you have a certain amount of money that will bring you closer to that goal. Now, that is amazing. When I first learned about this in my studies and trainings in holistic management, I was so blown away by that, because what an incredible challenge that is. What an incredible challenge to think of all these aspects and still reach the desired outcome. And these changes that you then make annually towards the goal, towards your land plan, that is the goal, they are wealth generating. We call them wealth generating because they, with every implementation, make your operation better, more stable, more sound, like in the Sound Farmer. They make it more effective. And so the following year, you should be able to have a smoother, more effective, more profitable operation. And these planning procedures in holistic management can ensure that for you if you stick to them. So this is why holistic land planning is so profound, okay? And it is so important to understand why we can't just pick and choose in holistic management. You know, many people come and say, oh, I've heard about holistic plant grazing. They seem to get good results. So I just want to come learn that. You need to go through the fundamentals, through the training. You need to start at the foundation. If you want to build the roof before you have the foundation and the frame up, it's not going to work. Build the foundation first, get the holistic management fundamentals into your system, and then study the planning procedures. They work hand in hand. Another aspect of it is the word holistic, okay? Many people don't like the word. Some people love the word, excuse me. But here's the thing. It's something that we are all doing already. We all try to manage our life and our homestead or our farm, or the dream to one day actually start farming or start homesteading. We manage our finances and our relationships, we all try to do all of that, to juggle all of those different aspects of our life. All I'm saying is, when I say holistic land planning, holistic financial planning, holistic plant grazing, and so on, holistic management, is that there is a proven system over decades, proven, that provides a framework so we can do this successfully. That's what I'm saying. That's what holistic management is. That's the power of it, okay? We all do this, but we all have so much more potential, right? We could do all so much better. And, sometimes people are saying, like, how do you want to help me? Or what is it you have to offer? What do you know about my struggles and my life? Well, that's not what I mean. The thing is, we all have problems, we all have challenges, we all can improve, we all can get more effective. And the holistic management framework provided for us can really help us to do this. And it breaks it down into easy steps, all these planning procedures, so that it is easy to understand for us. Okay? So, what are now the dangers if you hire a farm or a land planner? There are a lot of people, including me, who offer consulting and farm planning services, but there is a great danger there. I have friends who do this. There are a lot of people here in Europe who travel around. There are a lot of people in other parts of the world who do this and offer this. And almost all the people I know are very knowledgeable. I mean, they know their stuff and they're experts in different areas, some more on permaculture, some more on rotational mob grazing, some more on keyline techniques and land planning. And everybody has a little bit of their expertise. But something that I just see lacking is the understanding of both the client and those farm and land planners to see the need for a holistic land plan. The subtitle of this podcast and live stream was or is Plan Your Life, not just your farm. So the question is, why do you plan your farm? There are many reasons, right? You want to improve the land, you want to create something pretty and beautiful, but I would highly suggest to you that the main reason is your life, your family, you as the farmer. You are the driving power behind it. You are the person that wants to live there, you're the manager. So that is the most important aspect of it. So we need to ensure that whatever land you buy or whatever land you plan is 100% in line with with what you want the outcome to be, right? Do you want to live off the land? Or do you just want country living but have a town job? What kind of enterprises could you picture? Do you want to plan your life so that your children have the opportunity to expand or start an enterprise? Where will the city be in the future? Will it grow closer towards us? We're going to talk about that too in a moment, right? What is it you want? And so that takes me back again to the holistic management fundamentals that are absolutely essential for success on planning your farm and your homestead. Why? Because in the beginning, to lay the foundation, you describe how do you want your land to look like, and you describe what do you want your quality of life to be. And when you have described all these things for yourself, then those answer a lot of questions in how should I plan my land? They will help you decide when you have to make decisions, option A, B, C, D. And only then can you ensure that what you have pinned down originally, that you are on track for that. If you have a farm planner or a land planner, a big problem is they come and they might really just plan something that is amazing, and you can get excited about it because you can get excited about anything because you love nature. but is it really in line with, will it really bring you closer to your desired outcome, or is it just something that this farm or land planner will push on you? And here's another challenge with this, is that often they plan something for you and then just leave you there to implement it, or they plan it and implement it or parts of it, and then you're left with it. And all those things can be very, very challenging. I've seen this, and I've seen projects fail. And I have, and the reason was not that the farmer was bad. The reason was not that the land planner was bad. The reason was that it was not done holistically, considering everything. So I can't stress this enough, guys. When you plan this, you want to get it right. Imagine your land, imagine your farm. You can't afford wasting resources. It is such a bummer when you get set back years because something didn't work out. That is a little bit my story in Sweden. We should have managed holistically, and we didn't. We made a lot of mistakes, which made me learn so much. So now I can communicate that, and I really understand why. And so I'm a good educator about these subjects because I've made the mistake, but I don't want to repeat it, and you don't have to repeat it either. Okay? So let me now walk through some points that are essential steps for a successful land plan for you. Okay? When you plan your land, break it down into these steps and learn and study up on these steps so that it will turn out successful. Okay? First thing is, you need to have a clear understanding of your own vision for your life and your land. Okay? That is what we call a holistic context. You need to create that. It's not a context. Everybody has a context. You have a context, and you have tried to make decision. We all try to manage based on our context. A holistic context is something you clearly define, where you describe how you want your land to look, the land's health, the ecosystem processes on the land. You describe how you want your desired life to be, your quality of life to be. And first, when you have a clear understanding, will you know if a land plan that you're creating can support that vision, that dream. Okay? That is very, very important. Then next, you heard me mention it just now, you need to get a good understanding of the ecosystem processes. There are 4 ecosystem processes, and they're not separate from each other. We say that they are 4 windows into the same room. They all, are in the ecosystem functioning, and wherever we are, they are pretty much the same anywhere. And we have the water cycle, we have energy flow from the sun to through the plant to all other living organisms. We have the mineral cycle, the biological breakdown, and the minerals, how they get recycled. And we have community dynamics, how all the plant and animal and insect species and microorganisms, how they work together. Those are the 4 ecosystem processes, and an understanding of what those look like when they are effective or broken is essential for you to identify where your land is at, or the land you want to buy, or the land you want to plan, and understanding the ecosystem processes helps you to understand how and where you have to and can improve your land. So having a clear understanding of your own vision and of how you want your life and your land to be, and an understanding of what healthy ecosystem processes look like, they already cover the holistic management fundamentals almost. Okay? They almost cover the fundamental knowledge that you need when you have clarity for your life and where you want to go and how you want your land to be, you have a lot to work with how you can plan. Okay. So these are 2 steps that you should study and focus on and dig deep into when you want to do a land plan. Now, another one is that you need to understand water movement and the watershed on the land. This is very important, and it goes hand in hand with another point. It's the ability to read and understand topographical maps. This is something I think most of us are able to do, but I think we should just get good at it. And if you want to buy a farm, or if you have your own land already, you need to get your hands on the topographical maps, ideally a little bit more in detail for free online. They are often just very general, and you can't really see smaller changes. It also depends on how large your property is, okay? But what you can see on the topographical maps is the watershed. You can see from where water will run onto your land or off your land. I'm going to show you guys a video here real quick. This is a little farm that I partially planned in Austria here. And this is the overlay now of the topographical map. Okay, so this is up here, the highest place of the land, and then it slopes down here, and this is in meters. So every line is 1 meter. Okay. And with this overlay, I can already see and tell where water moves, where wet spots would be on the land, where there is a bit more of a flatter area, where it's a little bit more steeper, like here. And I can also see where the borders go when I look up at the maps, where the neighbors' borders are, and where land surface runoff from the neighboring land could come onto my land. Now, this is very important to understand, because you could have pollutant if the neighbor sprays bad stuff, and for lots of reasons, okay? This is especially important to understand topographical maps and understand the watershed when you want to tap your own springs, when you want to have good and healthy water that is not contaminated. Is the watershed basically where all the rainfall is gathered that leads to your land? You know, you might have your land here, but what if up the mountain or up the hill, water is being gathered on fields, and they run into streams, and that stream runs over your property? And if that is contaminated, you do not want that in your ponds. You do not want your animals drinking that. Okay? So one major important thing is, and let me hide this here real quick. One very important thing is that you have control over the watershed, and that you do not have potentially adverse influences from upstream, uphill, so to speak, where pollutants and bad stuff can come onto your land. This is very important because you want to make sure you have healthy drinking water. You want to make sure that your plants do not get contaminated, and you can have the best practices on your own land, but if the neighbors do something bad and it comes onto your land, it can cause a lot of heartache, because it just destroys stuff. So if you learn to understand to read topographical maps, you can get them often online. The little more detailed maps you can often purchase online. If there's absolutely no map available for your property, there are companies that offer the service of creating one of those maps for you. This can be especially interesting if you have done, or somebody has done, a lot of soil movement and changing of the landscape in recent time, where you don't have an updated topographical map, and they fly with a laser drone over your land and they map it topographically. And you can get this in very good detail, but it's quite expensive. Depending on your homestead size or land size, it easily is 10,000 or more. Okay. But that service exists. Now, understanding this then really helps you to plan. So based on this, I was able to create a rough infrastructure and planning for this farm. So you see here, these are now the wide roads are more permanent, okay? And the green ones are just kind of like field roads. And I planned them, in a way that the fields here, they go with the contour lines. This wide road here goes along the forest because it also serves as an access road to all the lumber and all the forest. But you can, depending on your land, sometimes you need to go exactly with the contour lines. Sometimes you need to find something in between. Here, it is so flat that I didn't have to go exactly with this contour line. Just saw a comment that satellite imagery from Google Maps is a good tool as well. Absolutely. So the satellite image here is taken from Google. Okay. Then I added this overlay to it. Here you see the first step. I created some infrastructure, the road infrastructure, so you can reach all the parts. Then the next step is that you can see here, these are buffer zones. These are hedges for windbreak, for slowing down the influence from the neighbors, for creating wildlife habitat, and a lot more. Here you can see there's a major highway going through the land, and I did not plan a field road or hedge close to that road because of the danger of accidents. That you have. I just saw somebody pointing out to me that you can't see my cursor. Okay, let me see. Is there a tool? I do not have a tool right now that I for some reason, which was really stupid of me, I thought that you would see my cursor. Anyway, I have to explain it to you. So in the lower right of the picture, you see a bigger road going through the picture. That's a highway. And you see on the north of that highway, I created the light green field road, and the little darker green, that's a hedge. I did not place those close to the road because of the danger of accidents, of deer and rabbits and all that stuff just jumping out to the road in close to the road. Okay, so like this, the cars driving over that highway would still have a good view of the wildlife there. And now you see, this is a rough planning of the land. Okay, so you see that the brown can be used for cover crop, cash crops growing. Okay, Gabe Brown style, Ray Archuleta style, where we do no-till cash crop farming. The little bit yellowish areas are going to be agroforestry. They're going to be walnut, chestnut, hazelnut, other things. And then the red was planned to be tall growing fruit trees and hay meadows or pastures combined. Okay. And this is just a rough plan. This is not a detailed landscape planning. This was a rough. And in the northern end, where you just see the wide road end, there were supposed to be some ponds, so we left that out at this place at this time. But you could just see roughly here how I worked on one of the farms that I planned here in Austria, based on the topographical map. And in this case, I made several trips there. I walked over the land. We actually had somebody come out and they dug into the ground to test for the possibility of pond building as well. That was a different company that I organized to come, and that did that for us. And what I'm trying to get to is that based on a topographical map, especially when you look for properties online, for example, you can already understand a lot of, if you even have to get in the car and go look at the property or not. You can plan a lot, you can look at a lot. And I can do a lot of land planning based on pictures and videos and topographical maps for people just from my home. That's just something that works great. Okay, so again, major important things and essential steps to dig into deeper when you have land and want to plan it, or when you want to buy land. One, you need to have a clear understanding of your vision for your life and your land, where you want that to go, how you want your life to be. You need to understand the ecosystem processes. Otherwise, you don't know how to heal the ecosystem, how to heal the land. Okay, you need to understand the water movement and watershed, and the ability to read and understand topographical maps. One last comment on the water movement and watershed. There is a very helpful website that I'm going to share with you real quick. I'm creating a banner here so that you guys can all see it. Okay, let me show it to you right here. climate-data.org. Okay, that on that website you can type in a little bit bigger town close to where you live, and it'll give you the climate diagram. It'll show you average temperatures for each month, but more importantly, it will give you the precipitation for each month that you will get. Now, obviously, we all know that can vary from year to year, but it'll show you and explain to you how much moisture you get, if it's evenly spread out or more focused on parts of the year, because based on that, your land will also react differently to different things. But also you will understand just how much water you get on your land. Okay? And that helps you to understand the watershed and the rainfall. So I can't get into more detail here tonight because we are already coming up on an hour here soon. But rainfall, effective rainfall, when it comes in the year, all incredibly important things. And dig deeper into that. You can reach out to me. I offer services as well, or you do self-studying. Okay, let's go a little bit quicker here so we have a little bit of time for Q&A. I just covered this. Knowledge about the climate was one of my next points. Climate-data.org, you can understand the general climate on your land. You won't be able to change that. Okay, so whether or not you live in a drier, seasonally wet, in holistic management, we say brittle or non-brittle environment, you can learn that from these climate diagrams. They can give you a lot of insight. You also should get and gather information and gain knowledge about the land's history and native environment. Okay? Learn what your land used to be 20 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago. What used to grow? What used to be farmed? What would this land turn into? What was it 100 years, 1,000 years ago? Go as far back as you can and gather that information. Very important. It'll help you in your land plan. And then you do the opposite. You look into the future of the land. I would say at least 100 years. 100 years is nothing. 100 years, your grandchildren will be there. So Gabe Brown is one of the most well-known holistic manager ranchers, so to speak. He's one of the most well-known farmers who manages holistically. And Gabe Brown, when he planned his land and farm, when he did holistic land planning, they looked into the future of their farmland, of their family, of everything. And what they found was that their now rural farm would be very close to the city limits or within city limits, part of the suburbs. And all of a sudden, that changed how they plant things. That changed their long-term thinking for their land, for their farm. All of a sudden, there might be some limitations. There might be other opportunities. It's very important. For me, looking into the future, it is absolutely essential that I do not create the land in a way that it'll just be locked in on my wife and myself, but that my kids have the opportunity to take it to other places where they want to take it. One thing that I see all around me here in both Sweden and Austria, I saw this and I see it, that children leave the farm not to return because they do not want to do what their father and mother are doing, and they don't have the option of doing something else. The parents sometimes often don't let them, but also the infrastructure and everything is so pinned down on one thing that it would just be an insane amount of money and almost nearly impossible to do something different. You can avoid that by looking into the future when you plan your farm. I see a couple questions here already. I'm going to get to that in a little bit when we're done here. Okay, so let me go through these points again. Dig deeper into these. 1, get a clear understanding of your own vision for your life and your land. That's your holistic context. So basically, get training in holistic management. 2, understand the ecosystem processes. 3, understand water movement and the watershed. 4, the ability to read and understand topographical maps. 5, knowledge about the land's history and native environment. 6, knowledge about the climate. And 7, a look into the future of the land, at least 100 years. Essential steps for you to look deeper into, and that will lay the foundation for a good and successful land plan. Okay. Now, before I go to the questions, I want to pitch something to you. I had put a poll up on YouTube asking what this live stream should be about. I had a couple different subjects, and over 80% of you guys, I think we got like 150 votes or something. So it's quite accurate, quite good data. Over 80% wanted this to be about holistic land planning. Now, this is absolutely impossible to cover in a live stream like this. We have covered some good stuff here. I can point you in the right direction, but I'm sure that some of you guys are just wanting to learn more, dig deeper into this. So this morning, this is very spontaneous. This morning, I was talking about this with my wife, and I was telling her, I want to create an amazing bundle, an amazing training bundle that I can offer to you guys tonight, because I want it to be a unique offer that a limited amount of people can just go into. And I want to show this to you guys real quick. Okay, I'm going to disappear here so you can actually see all of this. This is what I created for you. I created a bundle where pretty much all my products are included. If you purchase this, and this is only up for sale until February 17th, this is what will be included. You will get all of the Savory Institute Holistic Management ebooks. It's 13 ebooks that take you through all the fundamentals, through all the planning procedures, and teach you how to do them. They have all the worksheets included, so you can really self-study and train this. And on top of that, my holistic management video course that itself has a value of $49 or costs $49 will be included in this bundle as well. You can use that parallel to the holistic management ebooks and study up on it. Also included will be my own personal ebook and audiobook, The Self-Sufficient Homestead, that asks you a lot of questions similar and related to holistic management. And all the participants who will purchase this will be able to jump with me on a 90-minute live Zoom group training call. And that will be happening on February 18th at 8 p.m. my time. Okay, so we will have 90 minutes, and what we will discuss there is we will go much deeper into some of these things that we talked about now. We'll talk specifically about buffer zones. We'll talk specifically more about the watershed, about topography, about keyline principles, and more. And we'll take our time there to dive deeper into that subject. Now, that's not all. What I'm adding to this, and where you will be able to purchase this, is on my Volley page. With this offer in this bundle also come one-on-one Volley consulting with me, a unique offer, 15-minute timer. Now, again, 15-minute is not just us talking 15 minutes on Volley. That's, we think about our answers off screen, we do research, and then we send the answer back to you. And so that is all included. So the value of this would be $341. And I want to offer this to you guys for $99. So you can go to my Volley page that shows right here. You can go to our website where you will be led to that. And this is, for max 25 people, because if I take on more than that, I won't be able to focus on you enough. And also the group live Zoom call where we will be meeting with each other, that will also just be too much. So max 25 people. And when it's sold out, it's sold out. And also on February 17th, I'll take down the offer because the next day we're going to do the live Zoom call. Okay. So, be annoyed at me or not for pitching this, but I believe this is an incredible offer if you're serious about planning your land, if you're seriously about studying. This leaves you with so many tools, with such an incredible resource and library and everything, that I believe it'll be amazing. Okay, so you can again look it up on the website. Go to the Volley website and look. If it's not for you, then don't. Okay, but I'm saying just the official ebooks from the Savory Institute and the video course are already worth so much more than this offer. I think this can be an incredible start. And my recommendation is, because you will get with this offer a 15-minute one-on-one time with me on Volley. And my recommendation is that you would save that up for even after the group coaching on Zoom, that you would save this up when you have studied up and read in these books, because then afterwards you have so much more to go on, and you can ask questions a lot more specific, and I will be there for you, and we can move from there. Okay, just wanted to share that with you guys. I wanted to make this an incredible offer because I really love to see people get started on this. And this is a really, really good offer. So I will be taking some questions now, guys, before I head out. Okay. Before I head out, I will be taking some questions now, and we are at an hour time here, so we'll see. One questions that I saw earlier. Let's see here. I can show this comment. Do you pay attention to high water levels caused by cyclical rainfalls? Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You have to. You have to see how much precipitation do you get on your land and when do you get it. Some countries in Africa that are dry for 9 months of the year, complete, desert dryness, they get more rainfall in 3 months. They get twice as much rainfall in 3 months than we used to get in Sweden in a whole entire year. It doesn't so much matter, or let me say it this way. It is extremely important to see and understand when you I think now I'm back. My internet is bad. We're still having this windstorm outside. So in connection to this, it is very important that we in connection to this, it's important that we understand what effective rainfall means. The effective rainfall is the rain that actually falls, that actually makes it to your roots and your plants can benefit from it. Right? So we have so much land that has a broken water cycle where rain runs off the land, cannot get sucked up and held by the ground, doesn't even reach the roots. It gets dried out right away by wind or by the sun. And so if you get, let's say you get 1,000 millimeters of rain or 100 inches, it doesn't matter what measurement we use. If only half of that or a third of that reaches the roots, if more than half of that gets carried away by the wind, evaporation, from the sun, then we don't have to buy more land for sure. We need to heal the water cycle. If we get twice as much rain on our land, then we don't have to buy another 100 acres. We can make our land twice as productive. So it is an absolute economical issue. I asked the farmer, what would it do to your farm if you could double your rainfall? Well, that'd be huge. Think about the forage I could grow. Think about the crops, the fruits I could grow. Well, many farmers can't actually do that. The farm I'm currently farm sitting, it has a horribly broken water cycle. Bad internet here again. Bad internet, sorry guys. Water runs off, the sun comes and just burns it out of the burns it out of the south facing slopes. It's just bad. So that is very important. Okay, let's see here. If I have a few more questions. Yeah, some nice comments here, you guys. It's awesome. If you have some questions right now, shoot them at me. Shoot them at me so I can take a few more minutes here before I have to leave. So somebody wrote, my holistic farming starts with collecting leaves, sticks, pine needles, and collecting the dung of wildlife and pooping in a bucket and adding to soil. Yeah, I mean, whether it's holistic or not, I'm not sure. Holistic means you manage your life, your finances, your land, and everything together. That's what holistic means. If that is what works for you, then it is holistic. If not, then it's just a certain kind of lifestyle, but sure, that's good. I have a lot of respect for folks doing things like that. It's a major thing. Composting toilets are extremely important, guys. um, Septic systems often are really bad for the land, and you know we're just wasting human waste, so to speak. There are solutions to that as well. Yeah, really cool, guys. Some of you guys have looked into the history of your land already. We have covered a lot of ground here today, guys. A lot of important stuff. Again, I'm going to leave you with some tips here of how you will be able to dig deeper into this. I've given you some links already, some resources already. Again, key is to lay the foundation. Anybody who has ever built any structure, whether it's a house or a pole barn or a garage or whatever it might be, or a little playhouse for your kids, you know that if you hurry, if you rush, if you don't work thorough enough on the foundation, it's going to be a pain all the way up. Everything will just be so much harder. Everything will just take, more time to adjust, and it'll be crooked. And so you need to take the time to build the foundation. And the same is true for land planning and all that, like we've said. So as a little summary, focus on laying the foundation, understanding what you want, how you would want the land to be that you want to live on. Create that, understand how effective ecosystem processes work, an effective water cycle, an effective mineral cycle, a maximized energy flow from the sun's energy through the plants to all living organisms, and how stable and effective ecosystem process of community dynamics functions. If you understand these things, if you can identify whether or not your land is in a brittle environment or a non-brittle environment, you lay the foundation. All of this is being taught in the ebooks of holistic management. So again, right before I leave now, I'm going to show this to you guys. This offer, it's only up till February 17th. You guys get so much more from this than I know anywhere else. You will get the entire Savory Institute ebook series, the official ebooks. You will get my holistic management video course. You will get my ebook and audiobook. You'll be part of a 90-minute live Zoom coaching and training with all the participants. And you will have a one-on-one Bali 15-minute timer with me. All this stuff, these are the resources that you will need, and you can do so much with this. You can do so much with this, and you can start the right way. So I'm gonna leave this up. Where can you get this and look into it? Right there. That's the link. So this is gonna be limited to 25 people only, because I want to keep it at that size maximum so that we can have the good personal conversations in the group coaching, and so that I can take this on. I have a couple more comments here. This is a nice comment. Let me show this real quick. I have spent a lot of time planning, but often think that had I started implementing years ago, I would be there by now, learning opportunities and all. Yeah, so this takes me back to the beginning of our live stream, right? Where I said the holistic land plan you create once, and it is your goal. The holistic financial plan created annually, you set some money aside in that budgeting process for what you can implement towards that goal this year. And the holistic plant grazing or holistic operational plan will ensure that you will still be able to create a profit that year with what you have. Again, the most important thing that you need to take away from today's live stream, from today's podcast, is what I started with, the most profound thing. A land plan is not have to, let me wait a second. Okay, I think now it's better. Your land plan is your goal that you will work towards step by step, year by year. You will have to start with what you have. Okay. So guys, thank you so much. This will be recorded. You will be able to rewatch this on Rumble, on YouTube, and on Facebook. I just saw somebody, oh no, I missed it. Well, welcome that you joined us here at the end. You say you're from Zimbabwe. You have the best of the best in Victoria Falls, the Savory Training Center there, the African Center for Holistic Management. They are the best of the best in training people and teaching people this. Incredible stuff, what they have done there. It used to be Alan Savory's ranch before he handed it over. Very inspiring stories. But yeah, you guys can rewatch this live stream. So thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. I love talking about these things and love to visit with you. I have really been enjoying these Saturday afternoon, and for most of you, Saturday morning podcast live streams here. And I really hope that we can get a good group together for this holistic land planning bundle, and that I can get to work with you guys. I love meeting more people. I love to hear stories and to be able to help out. So thank you guys for watching. If you won't mind on the way out, give us a thumbs up, a like, hit the plus sign or whatever. It helps us to spread this valuable information to more people. Have a good day. Bye-bye.